Hello, my name is Pablo Luna. I'm from Chile, and I am the founder of Pablo Luna Studio. We are based here in Ubud, Bali, and our studio specializes mainly in hospitality and residential projects that aim to work with natural building and promote a lifestyle of sustainability and connection with the land. And today we're here in Yoga and Spa, one of our residential projects. And it's an honor to share a little bit of our vision and work.
And Pablo, can you tell us how has been this journey so far since you found yourself here in Bali and started to do a very special type of architecture? And today we just were in your office looking at all this group of motivated people doing projects. So can you tell us how has been this journey so far?
It's been a journey that I couldn't be more grateful. It's been unexpected. I never thought I would find myself leading an architecture studio. Actually, I still struggle drawing and working with the computer, so it's been quite a mystique and for me to find myself today here. So everything started in New York, and it's there where I made the leap from studying economics to architecture. And it was really a game changing because even my family wouldn't believe that I wanted to pursue this career. At the end of 3 years with taking studios called abstraction perception, it really opened my mind into like the possibilities that this practice offer in terms of self-expression and also like an investigation of life. And it all ended actually in a sculpture class where I met Karina Hardy, who introduced me to Bali through her family and gave me the opportunity to move here and work for John Hardy for a year and a half, who was a big mentor and still an inspiration in this, I would say, rebirth movement of natural building, because it comes from millennia ago and now it's coming and taking a lot of momentum again. And yeah, it's been a privilege mainly to find myself in a place where craftsmanship is so revered. It has such a strong impact in the culture, like in the day to day. When you walk through Bali, every detail is taken care, and there is a lot of love in what they do. Um, so I have felt that feeling, that the way of approaching everything you do has translated into our studio today, and into my, I would say, ongoing process of understanding what we want to create and how we want to contribute to this natural building phenomenon, I would say.
But it seems that the type of architecture that you're making is something that people really want because now you have got many commissions, you're doing many projects, and your practice of architecture is growing. So, how has been this, let's say, this last part of having to develop an office that can take on all these opportunities?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. Uh, and up until very recently, we were only 4 people in the studio, I would say up to 3 years ago, and exponentially started growing. I would say that it's very related how I perceive myself and the translation that I see in the studio. The more I open for opportunities and that I believe in my practice, in what I can offer, it has invited these incredible challenges and projects. And I always say that the world brings you things that you can take. So it's been very natural. The truth is that it's been very little struggle. And I'm very grateful for that. Also, the people that have come on the way is not people I never went to look, like they showed up and it seemed like our paths were meeting. Most of the team members came very naturally, organically. And if I would say like something that has helped me a lot is to awaken the superpower that we all have. And today I see myself, my role in the studio is more actually to empower, to when you are stuck in a design and you don't believe that you can bring it to life, is to have those conversations and come back to a place of serenity, of harmony, and like, support the people that are mainly designing. So it's interesting how I have shifted from being the main designer to becoming a leader of a group of incredibly talented human beings, a family, I would even say, that, yeah, we just support each other. And by understanding everybody's role and not putting too many barriers into it, yeah, we have been able to create a studio that it feels warm. We can bring projects on time, but at the same time create magic.
Brilliant. Yeah, very important that part. But as you said, well, bamboo is not something new, but it seems that now it's becoming a much study type of material, and there are new things being done with it. How has been your experience on working with bamboo?
Bamboo has been an incredible teacher for me. I feel that the biggest lesson is that you can plan up to a certain point. And in architecture, we try a lot to have it everything like quite square and ready to go. And with bamboo, you cannot do that. Most of the changes happen on site. You need to be ready for the go to the site to be an architect that is on the land. Basically, to adapt, to sketch, to be flexible, to have constructions with the artisans, and to be able to change as you see that the building wants to change. Even during the construction process, for many architects can be quite challenging. But if you allow that flexibility in yourself, in your team, you end up, and I would say you end up building or creating architecture that is much more in tune with the culture, with the space, with the people that are going to inhabit it.
Well, I saw in your studio that the models, as there are working models, so you can really have a feeling in the small scale, really playing with the structure, bending it, looking how it will work. So how is this the part of doing the models? How which role does it play in your design process?
I would say that without the models, there is no chance to create what we're trying to do today. The models is the physical translation of our ideas, and it's an opportunity that we get before we start the building process to observe and to feel in a miniature scale, but quite a reasonable one, to understand the experience that we want to give. And it's a first really feeling from a screen. You can, up to a point, is the connection that you can have with the building. So the 3D models allow us not only to study, perfect, and improve the drawings that we're trying to create, but allow us to feel and immerse ourselves. You actually go down and you see how I would be here walking through it. And now we're trying to create even bigger models because we also mark on the land. With bamboo, it's quite easy to come to the site and imagine the model in real size very simply. So that communication between land, architect, even client, because this is ultimately the user, and that they have a small like synopsis of what is going to happen in their piece of land is really a privilege.
And I think that living in your projects must be a privilege, because in the whole world now there is this discussion, we need biophilic architecture. We need to be closer to the nature, which is quite challenging in the northern hemisphere when you are in urban settlements. Um, how do you think that this starts to have an effect on people, like living in a structure of bamboo, being immersed into the nature, natural air flowing? How would you say that it is to live in this type of architecture?
I think it's been first one of the biggest blessings that I have had the experience to live during all these years in buildings that resonate with the architecture that I do. And I would say the number one is relaxation. You start understanding that life, uh, yeah, is more of a game rather than all this seriousness that you bring into it. And these buildings are really playful in their being, and they invite a new way of thinking. I always believe that if you move in squares or in straight angles, your mind starts shaping into that way of thinking. When you are in spaces that morph, that change, that expand, uh, you see the physical changes within you, and the invitation, you are open to explore new ideas that you thought you would never find yourself in. So it's an incredible opportunity, and I think every human being should have the experience, or I would wish that every human being had the experience of immerse themselves. Many people, like older, that come to our buildings start crying because yeah, there is no words to explain when yeah, it touches you in a level that I don't think can be expressed in an interview.
And well, before we were talking about education, like how you started with a, let's say, more formal kind of architecture, but at the end here you are doing the role of the one who provides shelter, who provides quality of life to people. How do you feel, let's say, removing ourselves from the conception of the architect as a profession, but rather as the need of someone to give shape to life?
I think the way you phrase it, it sounds it's a lot of responsibility, a beautiful responsibility. Um, I always feel of architecture that is bigger than the building itself. I feel that the clients that come my way come because there is a resonance in spirit, and most of the conversations that happen throughout the process, because clients become family, um, are what ultimately shape and are like the building is like the photograph of those stories. Um, it's a huge responsibility, and you have to, at the studio we train, and there is always like this imposter syndrome of like, it's a lot, because also natural building, there is a lot being researched, a lot being experimented. Um, so I think there is this huge responsibility. There is this, a lot of courage that you have to take and be honest in the parts that are like you're pushing the boundaries and you don't know what is going to happen. And I feel that the people that are in this, there's a lot of impermanence in these types of buildings. And there is something beautiful there. We're trying to provide, sometimes we associate um, shelter and care with something strong and unmovable. But these buildings breathe. These buildings, yeah, transpire almost. You need to take care of them as you would take care of yourself. Um, so there is a beautiful conversation happening at all moments when, especially in the big rains, what like there is a lot of questions happening with like what happened with the big rain and my building is gonna last, is the bamboo. But you learn that yes, the nature has always taken care of us and it keeps taking care. And now it's like how much bamboo will allow me to push, how much rent earth will allow me, and we move with that, as I was saying. In the land, you can feel it.
What has been the important decisions that you have taken that have brought you to this place where you are? Like a young architect doing, or a young creator doing interesting architecture with a lot of freedom to create, to invite people to work with you. Like it's an ideal kind of practice. What can you recommend to these young architects, or if you can speak to your younger self, like 15 years ago, which could be like the recommendation?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. I feel the what I'm very proud of myself if I that I had the courage to jump into opportunities where I didn't even knew if I had the capacity to deliver. I believed in my heart, and I also like got inspired by others that when you follow your passion, you try your best and you are honest within your limits, you can accomplish things that, for me, that really, when I look even at this building, it looks beyond my imagination that I'm behind a structure like this. So one would be courage, follow your heart, be honest. But those decisions, I feel like you cannot separate the architect with the person. So you need to see yourself holistically, take care of your health, of your spirit, of your friends. Uh, yeah, and manifest. You don't, I don't want to be the serious architect because I'm gonna bring serious clients and I'm not gonna have fun. And life for me is about enjoyment and about, yeah, connection with the land, with yourself, with others. So yeah, courage at all levels, and yeah, trust in you, and also take all opportunities. I had to say that when opportunities come my way, as small as they were, I will have to put money sometimes. Even I lost money in all of my first projects to make them happen to a level that, to the standard that I wanted them to be, to create a portfolio, to build the knowledge. So don't go cheap on yourself, on others. Trust always on the long term, invest in the long term, and let the world be the way. Don't try to control everything. Let the universe work through you. There is no competition. There is no me trying to be better than others or me trying to compare to others. It's just doing what life has prepared for you. And when you are in that flow, like, you attract people. You just, I couldn't believe my clients. And if I'm in a low flow, like, those clients don't come. So I really need to take care of my health for these beautiful people to show up.
How has Bali shaped you as an architect?
Now, in many ways. First, I feel gratitude. The Balinese culture is in constant gratitude. So gratitude for the opportunities that I have gotten, for the people along the way. Then the second is craftsmanship, for sure. Attention to detail, taking the time, no matter it's day or night. You are there. You weave it like you really put attention. And here is reflected at all levels in Bali, and that's so beautiful to see. Um, and I would say finally, deep connection to the land. Here, before every building is built, we ask permission to the ancestors. During the construction process, you invite them, you greet them, you communicate with them, and it's a communication that is very much in the present moment. I was uh, raised Christian, and you learn some prayers like are quite repeatful, and I love them, and they have their own way. But here, the communication is all at the moment, and it's like these buildings. You need to be in the moment with the building. You cannot be stuck with what you wanted it to be, but you have to be there of what is telling you where it wants to go. And the changes are usually minimal, but you need to be present for them to come up. Yeah, for them to shine in their own way.
What does somebody that wants to work with you requires, like in terms of capabilities or attitude, or like this is an invitation in a way?
Yes, so if anybody that wanted to work with us, what is required first is flexibility. It's openness to help, from the marketing to chasing maybe the leads that we might have, to drawing. It's the open-mindedness, and architecture is not just about drawing and designing and creating art, because architecture is an art, uh, but rather the whole process of immersing yourself on all the complexities that take for a building to come to life. And then to have the confidence in your superpowers, and the honesty or where you want to grow. Um, yeah, when I smell, I never. This is true story. I have never seen actually the portfolios of the people that have applied to my studio. The people that have gotten into my studios because they have actually come to me from all possible ways, from text messages, from like images that they pop up in the email to see their work. Um, like they just find their way. It's almost like I believe that you create your space where you want to be. And this is true story. You can ask to the team. So there is a big opportunity there. And I think here and in any studio, you have to show that you really want this, and that you can really contribute, and doors will open. And if it's not us, it will be something similar and even better meant to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih.